Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
Welcome to Footwork.
All right. Welcome back to Footwork. I'm Sean.
And I'm Dylan. Each week, we're bringing stories and tips from around the globe as we dive into our journey abroad.
Outlining what it takes to follow our dream and hopefully yours, even if it's not soccer. So, Daly Gates, man, we've said that so many times, that intro.
So many times. And, you know, it's good that we can still mess up on this intro. We're playing the waiting game in terms of the season to give you guys the quickest update as we get into our big 50th episode. Can't believe it's been 50 feature length episodes. We've had a couple, side gigs, and
right.
I think there was a half episode in there. That didn't really catch on, did it? The 1530 or something. Yes. Yeah, that didn't really catch on. But yeah, man, just excited really for the next 50 episodes. You know, really proud of what we've been able to accomplish and, just get better at this. And I mean, just taking us back to the down memory lane with the promo video, and then just looking at and listening to some of these early episodes is just, it's really funny, man. It's hilarious.
So what we're going to do today, we'll let you know right away, is we asked every guest that we have on and people in the background of Footwork, what does make your own path mean to you? And we're going to share their videos, and then throughout just tell you some like bloopers, behind the scenes stuff of this podcast that you never would have known, but it's we're one of the people, and I think the people need to know.
People need to know some of the stories,
the humble beginnings of where this
hopefully
started.
They find it as funny as us. I don't know. We'll try and paint the pictures for you guys. But yeah, I mean, 50 episodes, a lot of minis in there too. And, on YouTube, on wherever you listen to podcasts, adding up, the IGTVs, whatever you want to add up. It seems like we're well into, I think, around 15,000, something like this. And what's nice is that the numbers are climbing with each episode. So, kudos to you guys for listening. Keep plugging, keep passing, all that good stuff. And really, I think the next 50 will be even more special with, guests and merch. I don't even want to say it, but maybe one day.
I feel like we have a better understanding of what we're doing these days.
We do, but in the beginning, man, we had no clue. Thankfully, we'll hear from Noah today, who is our head of journalism, and he came up with the name Footwork after a 20-second discussion on the phone of us describing what the podcast was going to be. I wish we recorded that.
Yeah.
But Sean, tell us some of these early names that we have we discovered from an iPhone shared notes.
Yes. Oh man. So these are the humble beginnings we're talking about. So I'm just going to go right through them. We have Trust the Process podcast, Globetrotters, Globetrotter Grind, The Road Less Traveled, A Different Path. Why are you here? ? You do what now? ?
Yeah, we're really reaching towards the end there with the question marks. Sean, if it wasn't Footwork,
wow,
you have to pick one of those. Which one are you picking?
I mean, Trust the Process podcast is like too simple, but it is kind of dope.
It is. I feel like it's a played out term, but it kind of does describe a lot of what we talk about on here.
But at the same time, you do what now? ?
You do what now?
That's pretty cool. I don't know. Who came up with that one? I don't even remember that one.
The more you say it, it sounds
all right. Welcome back to You Do What Now? I'm Sean, and
everything just has a question mark at the end.
Oh,
all
man.
Right. I like
so
that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know about those names. Clearly, Footwork it had to be outsourced because we were just not on point with that.
No,
we were way off.
No, we were way off. But One of
Here we have
the
it.
big cool things was we got Kylie Strom on as our first guest, upstate New York native who went all the way to the Champions League. She plays with Atletico Madrid now. And yeah, I think we just go right into it, Sean. Let's hear what she has to say about Make Your Own Path. What do you think?
Yeah, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Make your own path means to me, screw the standards, screw the norms, screw the expectations. I think there exists this quote unquote ideal path to the pros where you have to play for the best club team growing up. You got to go to the best tournaments in the nation to get recruited by the best D1 schools in order to play pro and have a chance. And it's just not true. I mean, you've seen on Footwork with all the guests they've had, you know, we've all taken such different paths and, you know, ended up achieving the ultimate goal, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, if the quote unquote ideal path is blocked, don't count yourself out and don't be afraid to make your own path.
Thank you to Kylie.
Damn right.
Amazing. That was an amazing episode. Everyone, you should look back at that. That's Kylie Strom from Upstate to Champions League. That was episode 7. Amazing.
Wow, yeah, our first guest. And back then we were still using Skype at the time. We had no idea what to use for guest episodes.
How did that go, Sean?
There was no video. So yeah, what happened was, you know, we got her on Skype. We're still trying to figure this out. We do a little test recording and make sure it works. So then we go back into a new Skype and we go to, you know, start talking again, do a full episode. And then we ended with her. It was like just an awesome talk, had a lot of fun, lots of laughs. And then, you know, she leaves and we finish and we thought that there'd be like an audio file.
Oh my God.
And there's no audio file. And we're panicking. We're panicking.
Oh my God. I'm sweating.
And we're like, oh my God, where is it? Where is the audio file? Like, okay, it just needs time to load. Just needs time to load. Sure enough, we come to a realization 30 minutes into it. Like we just forgot to hit record.
I think I also sent like a email to Skype. Like I think like Sean, like if you remember, that was the night that you showed me the good Jocko video because I was so pissed.
Still was tight.
Dude, we're trying to get off the ground here. We're on episode 7. We have a guest who went to the Champions League. Like, you know, Kylie's big time. She's, you know, she gave a lot of her time already. And it already didn't go smoothly in the beginning with connection issues.
This was like a 2-hour thing too.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was great.
A short amount of time. Yeah, we forgot to record. I mean, shout out to Kylie because she was just so cool about it. She was like, "Oh yeah, no problem. Like we can record whenever." Yeah. And then the second time, and like, of course, it's just even better than before. But yeah, that was quite a mistake we made there. So then from then on, it was always, are we recording? Yes. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, make sure, see it.
We were just too excited.
Once we got to the Zoom team meetings, it was a little easier, wasn't it?
Yeah, man.
All Sean, who do we have next here?
This is Kris. Jack met him in Mongolia. He is not a footballer, but a musician now, and he's becoming a doctor as we speak. Real cool guy, made his own path for sure. And let's hear what he has to say.
G'day folks, it's Kris here from The Basics and Jakmann. My friends Sean and Dylan have asked me to answer the question, what does your own path mean to you? So personally, I believe it's inevitable that we're forced to make our own path. You know, the cultural norms of school, job, marriage, kids, they only get you so far in life, and by the age of 40 or 50, most people are actually already stuck in crisis, wondering what happened to the guidebook, you know, the midlife crisis. So the way I see it, the earlier you face this crisis, which is essentially a lack of a guide, the better off you'll be in the long run. Now, facing life this way means going without a safety net. It means sacrifice. Making your own path means sacrifice. It means defying common wisdom, defining your own limits, illuminating your own goals, not illuminating, it'll be hard, and sometimes you are going to be alone. But ultimately, that path will be made by your feet, fit for you. So that's how I roll. Cheers.
Great. That's such an
Well
Aussie
done.
ending. I love that.
That is.
Cheers with the beer. Oh,
I mean, man, brilliance. Just
spitting facts, man. I really like that one.
Wisdom right there.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. What you do?
So that was Kris Schroeder. That was episode 32, The Road Less Traveled.
Yeah.
Which definitely, I mean, he's such a well-spoken guy. I think we really, we said this. I think that episode is before its time, because I think we really dive into some topics there that like, you know, it wasn't a soccer guest in this, but I think we were just like on to some stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in that episode. Like you said, he's so well-spoken that his ability to portray his ideas. And plus, like, we recorded with him and it was like 2 a.m. for him in Australia.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so, it was. It was amazing, though.
And I feel like that was one of the first video episodes we had.
It was one of the first.
It was in the beginning.
We started getting into it after that, I think.
Yeah.
Great guy. Great episode.
So give us another behind the scenes, Dale.
Another behind the scenes, actually, I hear it right now because there's so much shit going on my computer that hopefully the quality is fine on this. But one time we recorded and we had Sean's dusty ass computer right next to the my microphone. At the time, Sean and I were sharing one microphone, balling on a budget. And yeah, it was like, you know, when your computer sounds like it's about to blow up and the fans just starts running. Well, Sean did that. And it was so overpowering somehow that we had to re-record the entire episode because you legitimately could not hear over that sound. Yeah. And I mean, we were always nitpicking in the beginning, but this one was like, that was crazy.
Yeah, we'll get into the nitpicking after this next one, but yeah, we couldn't nitpick out of that. That was it was brutal.
No, there was none. All right, so another great episode here. Sean, who do we have?
This is Kim DeCesare. I've known her essentially my entire life. Now she is the head women's soccer coach at Franklin College. Mm-hmm. Former PSV player, played in Sweden, played in the US. Let's hear it.
All right.
Hey, Footworks, Kim DeCesare here. What make your own path means to me is first identifying who you truly are and what you truly want to accomplish, and then just relentlessly going after your dreams, no matter what anyone else says. And also understanding that everybody has their own path in this world and knowing that you're going to create your own. Yes, likely others have done it before, but make your own path is just you're being true to yourself and what you want to accomplish and just relentlessly trying to get there.
Fire. Again, so that was Kim DeCesare. That was from episode 22, The Persistence. Kim is another one that's played abroad, PSV in Sweden and other places. And I really like what she said there. The first thing that stood out to me was know yourself. I think that's a huge one that people overlook a lot. And unless you know yourself, you won't know what makes you tick. Right. You won't know what makes you happy. You won't know what makes you unhappy. So, I mean, that's what stood out to me the most about that one. Right. I really like that one.
Yeah. Knowing yourself and then relentlessly going after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the nitpicking. We used to edit in the beginning, like we were just trying to be perfectionists, but in the wrong way.
Oh,
I mean, good intentions, but it's just ridiculous. Like we would edit, like I'm going to talk like this, that little gap in my words, we would edit out because like, oh, there's too much space in between the words here.
It's like 3 seconds.
Words here and words here. Like we wanted to make the best possible experience for the listeners. Meanwhile, just like our moms.
Yeah.
And it would take hours.
Dude, it was
hours
so
and
stressful
hours
the
and
first
hours.
like 3 episodes. Like I think we re-recorded episode, well, Who Are We? Like the 00, like the short one. I think we like recorded 4, 5, 6, 7 times. We
Yeah.
re-recorded the first episode. We did it, and then it was like 3 hours or something, 2 hours. You remember that? And then we were like, wow, no one's going to listen to us for 2 hours. Like, we just started. Let's chill here. And then we kept recording, and then we kept like laughing and restarting. And we kind of just like lost sight of what podcasts are. They're not like this perfectionist
edited
product. Yeah, they're just like
a conversation.
Yeah, it's a conversation. It's like a flow, and you'll come in and out, and you'll fuck up, and you'll say something funny or you say something not funny, and you just got to keep going. Like Sean and I both had some terrible jokes in that episode with Jack, and Wags, and we'll hear from the boys later. But right now, we have our most recent guest. This is Evin. Can you pronounce the last name?
Nadaner.
Yeah. He's rocking that Kids Super Studios hoodie. That shit's fire.
Hey.
All right, let's hear what he has to say.
Make your own path. It's kind of everything to every athlete in the world, but it's kind of more talked about on the lower end of the professional athletes. But it's kind of seen everywhere. You talk about Ronaldo, who he's chasing, or LeBron, who he's chasing. They always say they're just chasing themselves, the best version of themselves. And I think the same idea is taken down to the granular level. And what I want to highlight more is the courage it takes to make your own path and not kind of take the path that's given to you. And like not be put in conversations you don't want to, but also it's about doing things on your terms. I mean, you could probably say make your path, but the fact that you say own, it's very personal, it's very unique, and it's like one of a kind. And that's why only you can kind of judge your own path, because you're judging yourself on either the best version of yourself or just yourself. And if you're honest with yourself, the truth can't hurt. So yeah, it takes a lot of courage, but it's also kind of a great reward when you figure out who you are and then you can appreciate your own path.
I mean, he's just piggybacking right off of Kim right there, like finding out who you are and making your own path. I mean,
having that courage too. I really liked his use. Man, Evans, these people got away with words. We're picking some good guests out here, man.
Right? We're getting lucky with these.
Good.
So,
wow.
You just mentioned before, Evin, that we had to, or we used to edit a lot, or we would delete episodes and do it, but like, Dill had a habit like 2 or 3 times, and I was just like appalled, but he was right for doing it. We would be recording for like 40 minutes, and Dill would literally just press stop and delete. Like he wouldn't even question it.
Oh my God, yeah.
I think we should redo this. He was like, no. He just hit pause on GarageBand, delete, and I'm just like,
move the trash.
It
would always be like, who's editing the GarageBand this weekend? Like, make sure this is perfect.
This weekend is key. It would take a weekend.
It'd take a whole weekend. And we go meet and take notes on it and stuff. Like, to be honest, a lot of times I don't listen to these episodes until they come out. Like now. But in the beginning, we would like 4 times not through. Like that. I'm listening 3-4 times a day. Like 2-second pause there. How can we perfect this?
Wow.
As if someone was going to like, we're going to lose someone's viewership because there was a 3-second pause.
Oh, wow. This kid said a word wrong.
Yeah.
I can't listen to this podcast.
No, not at all. We're going right on to the man himself. We got Akil.
Akil
Pompey. So this was Akil Pompey is episode 30, the footballing nomad. And then, I mean, we said it was our most recent. The one before that was Evin, episode 48, Life on the Road. But here's Akil from episode 30.
Making your own path in football is just, for me, it's pursuing your dreams, pursuing your dreams at all costs, at all expense, going the furthest, going the distance, not thinking or looking or hearing what others have to say, but being focusing on you, what's in front of you, what opportunities that you want to get, where you see yourself. Many times I think footballers look at the top level and everyone wants to dream and be there. But the fact is, the matter is that not all of us gonna get to that level. So making your own path in football, for me, I would say it's pursuing it every day and seeing where and how you can get to the highest level. But at the same time, enjoying the journey, enjoying the everyday process of getting there, becoming a better player, the commitment, the sacrifice, the struggles. Because at the end of the day, it just makes you who you are. It gets you better. You see growth in yourself, not on the field only, but off the field. So making your own path is just pursuing your dreams and not someone else's.
Amazing again, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Akil. That was a fun episode too.
Very fun.
He's a
I
good
met
guy.
him.
You gotta go visit him out in Singapore.
You're damn right. A nice Trinidadian accent.
I love it. I really like what
one of those.
A couple of people have kind of talked about this. It's like realizing yours. I think a lot of the times we like to compare, and for footballers, especially on the lower, scale that we are, and many people who listen to this podcast, we're too often to, look at these people playing in the MLS or playing in the Premier League, and the scale, you just can't compare yourself on that level. And there was one thing from a guy, Jordan Peterson, and he was talking about like, who do you compare yourself to? Because I mean, with social media and all this, it's all that there is now is comparing, right? And I think this hinders a lot of people. But he was talking, who do you compare yourself to? And he was like, who do you compare yourself to in the final battle of yourself, of your life? And he said, you compare yourself to your former self because you're the one who's had all of the advantages and the disadvantages. So that's the only person you can truly compare yourself to. So you got to be a better version of yourself from yesterday, from the day before, from last year. And that includes a lot of the things that Akil said about just enjoying the process and, knowing that it's your dream and you're not following someone else's.
Right. Yeah. Well said. It's awesome idea from Jordan Peterson put forth. How like you have the same advantages and disadvantages as yourself. You're the only person on earth that is experiencing this exact same advantages and disadvantages, which makes it, of course, you can only compare to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. All right. We're going to roll right into a fan favorite. I wouldn't say he's much more than a guest. He's a real part of this pod, and we try and bring him on as much as possible with his busy rehab and gym schedule and possible taking over of a football team. He might be a coach, but that's under wraps. We can't divulge any information right now. Yeah, this is tight-lipped everything.
Yeah.
But you guessed it, from every third episode, here's Wagsy.
I was prompted to make this video to say happy birthday to Footwork. We're happy with how far everything's come. We're happy with the following, and we're just trying to talk a few moments about what does make your own path mean to me. So I guess to me, mainly it would mean, you got to have footwork. You got to sidestep all the bullshit, right? We go through these things. We go through these ups and downs, job changes, life changes, moving, kids, all these things. So I guess that would be, you got to sidestep all the highs, all the lows, and find your way, make your own path to stay high, Stay high, maybe wake up at 6 a.m. to watch some Chinese Super League before you go train people. That's that. Cheers.
Cheers, Wagsy.
I mean, why he's been holding out this little quote. You need to have footwork to sidestep the bullshit. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah, you came up with that at the top of the dome too.
That could be our motto.
Yeah, 100%.
Man.
Another thing about Wags is we haven't talked about a lot, and we're hopefully, we'll have some things in the future. Is his brand Kong Fitness, and he opened up his own gym, in his hometown, and he really wants to give back to the community and help athletes and people who just want to work out and create a fun atmosphere that's also really pushes people and is kind of like a family environment. And I've been up there a few times, and man, I mean, I don't know if I've ever gotten better workouts, but that's something hopefully we see more of in the future, is that Kong Fitness Footwork.
Yeah, certainly has made his own path with that. I mean, to start your own gym with especially a lot of competition up there in Binghamton. Yeah, he's done well for himself and continuing to grow day by day.
And if you've heard, I mean, you obviously haven't, but like maybe if you follow him on Twitter and stuff, but this guy has been going crazy in the past week in our group text about the Super League and about the owners,
conspiracy
and about the
theories,
fans, and the conspiracy theories. I mean, we'll leave it at that.
It's never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. He's the best scout in the world. I mean, Chinese Super League,
none.
watch. That's not even just a joke. Like, he watches.
No, yeah,
he watches that. We're moving on to player that I played with out in Sweden from episode 28. Be your own agent. So a little surprise in here about possible career change, but this is Pat Sullivan.
What does making my own path mean to me? That was a great question that Dylan had us all answer. But for me, making my own path, it really comes down to, following your heart and following your gut. I think that in making my own path, I learned a lot of very valuable life lessons. Unfortunately, I don't play anymore. Decided to kind of take a step back, and all those life lessons that I've learned by making my own path, by flying to Sweden with a couple $100 in my pocket, hoping to get barbecue sauce on the weekends, and flying to Australia, doing the same thing with just a couple $100 in your pocket, and then moving to Philly, and then to Detroit, and then to outside of, then 40 minutes down the road to Michigan Stars. Really making your own path, it really just comes down to finding a way to get it done. If you truly care about something and you really want to do it, you'll do anything. It's just, a fact of life. And the best part about it is all those lessons I've learned from playing soccer, playing professionally, I've been able to carry those into my new professional career. And, I have to make my own path here. And, I'm applying all those life lessons I learned, and all in all, very grateful that I did what I did. And I'm able to really lean on those experiences where times get tough, or times are hard, or things just, aren't going your way. But when you make your own path and you're determined to do something, you'll find a way to get it done there.
Well said, Patty.
Well said, Pat.
Patty looking hella professional these days.
It was said as professional as he looks.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
Tune into the video just for that. I mean, he's looking
dapper. I mean,
dapper.
I like what he said though. Like, making your own path. Like, the path never stops. And the path is constantly changing. And Pat was on the same path as us, and just decided he needed to take a step back. He just, whether it was love for the game or he just wanted, to try something new, just shake things up. Maybe he'll get back into soccer, maybe he won't.
Right.
But, following his gut, like he said,
right. Know yourself,
making his own path. And now he's got to use all those things that he's learned on this path that, he doesn't regret. I know he doesn't, even though we weren't able to have barbecue sauce and ketchup at the same time in Sweden. He took all those things, as Sean and I will, from our journey in this podcast, and apply it to whatever comes after, and it's a good testament to Patty. It's a shame that he's hung up the boots for now. I think he's a super talented player. He's fucking 7'6", 7'6", and he really could. He really could, make a killing abroad still, and maybe in the States. But you got to do what makes you happy, and from talking to him lately, he does seem happy with it. So, kudos to him, and anyone who's got the guts to shake up their career and shake up their life, is for the right reasons, for your heart. I think that's right on making your own path.
For sure.
We have
and what episode number was that?
So that was episode 28. Be Your Own Agent with Pat, who was his own agent through this the whole process. So another great episode. Please go listen back to that. Now we're going into, maybe he should get a percentage for coming up with this name, but we're going into the Noah Daly, head of journalism. Like we said, took him 20 seconds to come up with the name. I think he helped with the bio too in the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's hear what he has to say.
What does going my own way mean to me? If you have a dream and that dream is important enough to you to risk everything, then you can't listen to other people. You can't take their advice. You need to go and do that thing on your own. And in order to do that, you can't follow cut paths. You need to cut your own path.
Brilliant. Short, sweet, concise,
to the point.
Exactly.
Just like the title, Footwork.
Exactly.
I like just to point out a little, make fun of Noah a little, just quickly, is that he really made his own path, because he didn't say make your own path the entire time. He said go my own way. That's like just another way to say that.
Path.
He's truly making his own path.
It's just journalism at its finest. Use a little cinnamon here and there.
Yeah. I mean, he's so right though, and there's not one smooth path, and you're always going to make your own, and your path is so original to yourself, and it should be celebrated that way.
Yeah. I mean, and speaking of our own paths, in the beginning of Footwork, the idea was like content. We got to put out content. Dill, what was our idea of content in the beginning?
We were all over the place, man. I mean, you got to respect it, because we still kind of are, and we're still kind of all over the place. Sean and I really like this notion that you can't put Footwork into a box, and we're going to be whatever we want to be on that week. If we're going to want to talk Champions League, we'll talk Champions League. If we want to make a dope promo video about goals and somehow relate it to an episode, that's what we're going to do. But way early in the day, we were all encompassing, and we were taking pictures of our desserts and adding the recipes. And we were going to show you, like these cool, protein dessert, healthy recipes, which I think people would want to know. It was a fire dessert. Do you remember what it was?
Yes. Honestly, I might have the picture still. We might have to put it on here, because the dessert is incredible. It's you just take an avocado, full avocado, put it in a blender with like a scoop or 2 scoops of chocolate protein powder. You could add like cocoa or cacao, however you say that. And then a little bit of milk, so whatever consistency you want it, and it makes like a mousse, and it really does like taste very good, and it's relatively healthy. So yeah, we're like, that's just amazing. We need to share this. So we put it in a cup and take like a picture. I think there was a raspberry we put on top.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I think you had the better phone at the time.
Yes. And it was the dustiest pic he could have thought of. Like
the dustiest.
Like in our head, we had this like amazing look, like these professional food images. And it was far from that. So it
was far.
It never was put out to the public. But there you go. There's the recipe. I highly recommend it. It is a good recipe, but the picture is not worthy of the public's eye.
It's so garbage. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it right now, but maybe we'll attach it to this one. But yeah, man, we made our own path, and we luckily stopped that path before it got too late. We stopped it. We stopped it dead right in its tracks.
Too funny.
All right, let's see who we got up next. Got to get right back into it. So that was Noah. And now we're going to get into the man himself, who's been on a few times now. We can't get rid of him. the legend himself, Dan Hoffay, technical director of Stockade. All right, let's check in with him. And then we got a special surprise right after him. So don't go anywhere.
Make your own path means finding what you love, finding what makes you you, and chasing after it, regardless of whether that's sports, whether that's a career, whether that's a person, whatever it may be. Make your own path means doing everything you can to make that dream a reality.
Love it.
I mean, so first off, I mean, yeah, we'll just touch on that. Well said. Dan, you looked hella serious there, but it was a serious notion, and I agree with everything he has to say.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just soccer. You know, that's why we say that in our thing. We hope you can take some of the lessons that we're doing this for the right reasons and apply it to your own life when whatever you do. So, you know,
exactly.
It's the same notions. It's the same goals. It's the same drives. It's the same trust in the process and becoming the best version of yourself, really, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what's the little surprise we got there?
Oh, so we have if you listen to that episode, that was the Let's Start a Soccer Club, episode 45 with Dan Hoffay and Dennis Crowley. They talked about the head of scouting there. Maybe he rivals our head of scouting. So that's Dan's brother, which is Nick Hoffay. And he had something he wanted to share too.
Make your own path means Dylan Williams leaves Germany and comes back to play for Stockade FC here at Dietz Stadium.
I love that. I mean,
simple and concise. Talk about trying to recruit. I mean, hey,
with the pan of Dietz Stadium. I mean, it's a lot of good memories there.
Using our own motto against us here.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
I must say the gear is nice. Those stadium jackets are fire.
I mean, I have great memories with that club, and I always want to be involved in whatever capacity. And I mean, Sean and I, and you know, the next person we'll have on here, Keegs. We've all talked about, you know, a reunion one day at Stockade somehow. So yeah, we'll keep that open.
Maybe
we'll keep that open. All right, now we got another legend himself. I'm sure you've heard from Keegs a bunch now, and all of our banter with him and his Aristocrats Soccer podcast. The original episode, though, Kicking It with Keegs, which I think might be the longest guest episode. I'm not sure. That one for a while, I remember. But we were like, an Amazon delivery woman came, like we played games. Like I never met someone who could name drop as many people as Keegs.
No, he's very good at that.
Very good at that. That was Kicking It with Keegs. That's episode 20. That was our 20th episode. Let's see what the man has to say.
What's up, Footwork? Jake Keegan here. To me, making your own path means to step outside your comfort zone and do something that you're passionate about, and something that is not necessarily easy, because no one has kind of trailblazed that road for you. If you think about like a snowstorm in upstate New York, when you're in the backyard and your dad he's in his snow boots and he's making a path for you, and you can either step in those shoes and those footsteps, or you can go a different way. And to me, a lot of people are very comfortable doing exactly what their friends do, exactly what their parents do, exactly what their teammates do, whatever the case may be. And I think the best lives, or at least the life that I want to live, is something that is suited only for me. And I think that's the best way to be. And if in the soccer world, that means, you make your own path in Europe. Maybe you make your own path at a certain team in the United States. Maybe you make your own path in Asia. And you just go, and you're not afraid to do something different. And you create your own legacy. You create your own path. And for me, there's a lot more fulfillment and enjoyment in that, because you know in your heart, this is what you want to do. And there's not anybody telling you, oh, you should be a lawyer, or, oh, you should do this job or that job. And you really have to take a deep breath and decide for yourself, hey, what do I want? And then when you come up with that answer, then you have to make your own path. So thanks, Footwork, for putting this on. You guys have been awesome. Great podcast, great listens. So keep following, keep plugging, keep passing, and I'll see you guys next time.
Damn, I love Keegs, man.
And I
He's the
mean, hold
man.
on. Let's just stop here. Attention to detail. Look at his shirt. It said "Be different." Did you notice that?
Different. Did
I
you
mean,
notice there
come
was
on.
there's a Stockade shirt
A
in the
Stockade
background
shirt
too.
behind him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, dude, Keegs hit it right on the one. He points out a lot of the time it's going to be outside your comfort zone, something we preach. You know, it's about self-fulfillment. It's about living the life that you want to live and, you know, not necessarily following what others want you to follow. I mean, man, if you had heard some of the freaking people talk when I didn't take a JP Morgan job, like, what the hell are you doing? I had nothing I was playing MPSL at the time. I don't mean I had nothing, but I didn't have anything that was like, you know, people were playing MPSL with full-time jobs. So, you know, it was about doing what I wanted. And it was really making something different, you know, like, I think there's a lot of similarities in everything we do, but can someone say that they turned down JP Morgan after going to a D3 college, then went to Australia, then went to Sweden, then went to Germany? I think I might be the only one.
You might be the only one.
You might be the only person who, you know, played D3 and then went out to Mongolia and then went to Germany, you know, like, yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but these are truly your own path. And that's what's, I think, so fulfilling about it. I also have something else. Actually, I messed that up. I'll try and get it in a second here, but how about you tell them about that Keegs video that never made it to the light of day?
Yeah, so I think Keegs was the first video recording. Well, at least we were able to see him while we were talking to each other. Yeah. But man, our video. So he just had I think he had his phone and it was good. But we looked like we were in a dungeon, dark as hell. We're sitting shoulder to shoulder. I mean, touching shoulders with each other. Yeah, there he is in that position. And we're just sweating on each other, trying to share one mic.
My God. It was after training. It was
disaster.
But I always I saved this and I thought, it'd be a good time to come back to this. So this was the video from it. And this is Keeg saying one of my favorite things in the episode.
Whereas you guys had a great college career. You guys won all the time and Final Four, no big deal, All-American, whatever.
Wow, run that or rewind that.
All right, let's hear that again.
Whereas you guys had a great college
Pause
career.
it on us.
You guys won all the time and
oh my
dirt bags. Look at Strom with the buzz cut.
Oh, that buzz
Dylan
cut.
just
man.
came home from training. Shoes everywhere. There's a fan there, but that's not working.
That wardrobe behind him, man. That took us.
We were cramped
years
in
to
there.
put to.
But
wow, look at that.
You can't help but hear what Keeg said about Oneonta winning all the time, and we had great college careers and had all these awards. So, Keegs, thank you for all the support, man. Always.
Yeah, shout out Keegs. Man, that video.
That video is too much. We're heading on to one who's made a few appearances now, including one Super League talk that we just did very, very recently. Someone who I'm sure we'll continue to work with throughout the years. The man himself. This is Joe Funicello, the search for undiscovered talent from episode 42.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe Funicello over at Soccer Visa. Listen, creating your own path is about knocking on doors, getting doors shut in your face, doing things that other people are scared to do, being in a shit situation and making the best of it. It's just continuing to be consistent and persistent in what you love and chasing it. So that's what it means to me. Don't let anyone else create your path. You create it. Don't let anyone else tell you what your path should look like. You make it. All right? All the best to all of you.
Another one hitting
there you go.
The nail on the head. Is that the
nail
phrase?
Head,
I don't know
buddy.
what the phrase is. But yeah, you. It's you. Yeah. You just wish that you could throw that in people's faces.
Right.
When you see
you
them.
dictate what you want to do.
Yeah, and when you hear people complain about their jobs and things like this, and it's, it's tough, but it's you. you have the opportunity to change it. You have the opportunity to do what you love, and
right.
Knocking on doors, being persistent. If we took every no and it just stopped us in our dead in our tracks, then where would we be today? And I think we have
there
a
would
funny
be no
one
footwork.
There would be no footwork for sure. But I think we have a funny one with that. So I can't remember exactly when this was. It was in the summer of last year when I was on trial with a few different teams. I've mentioned it a few times on this podcast, and I was on trial with Sean's team. And I think I was on there for 2 weeks, something like this. And, Sean and I were pretty confident something was going to happen. And, ultimately for, whatever reasons it didn't. And Sean and I just came back from a trip to the lake up in Lübeck area, which is north of Hamburg. And it was a Sunday, and we were supposed to record a Sunday night episode, which we always did in the beginning. We always saved it to the last possible second, which hardly happens anymore. Honestly, we're kind of on our shit. But yeah, I mean, we got like a voice message, and we were translating it from German. And yeah, I was told I was cut that night. And I think we told everyone like there was an emergency or something and we couldn't record. I wish we had that story somewhere. I'm sure we could find it, the exact one, but yeah, basically we said it was a personal emergency, and really it was just Dylan was too sad to record an episode and hide the tears.
I mean, there you go. There's the reality of it. And little did he know though that like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, you'd be playing against Leverkusen. So talk about the jubilation from
the next day I went on trial with it. I went on trial with the team that I ended up signing with the next day, so I needed that night to recuperate, step away from the pod for a second and come back at it. And I mean, I played well and turned some heads the first day. So it's all about, knocking on doors and being persistent, even when people tell you no, and you think you should be told yes, but
use it as fuel to crush the next thing that comes up, which for you, you're able to get right back on the field and show what you have to offer to any teams out there.
Couldn't agree more. We're moving right on to the man himself. This is Jamal Lis-Simmons, our second guest ever, actually, from episode 10, the player coach.
Yikes, an Arsenal fan. Oof.
Yeah, but he's OG original Arsenal fan. So let's hear Jamal.
So what does making your own path mean to me? Well, to me, I would say making your own path is all about having the confidence to follow your heart. I think that if we're fortunate in this life, we have things that we're extremely passionate about, that we want to, dedicate our time and energy to, things that we just, love to do, love to be around. For some people, they may not be born with that. It's something maybe that they have to kind of, seek out. But I think either way, whether it's something that just intrinsically you have or, something that you are seeking, I think when we find that thing that we're extremely passionate about, I think it's all about just immersing yourself in that environment and trying to get as much as you can out of it, trying to continue to grow as a person within that field or within that environment. And, through that process, really, creating your own path. I think that I'm still in the process of, creating my path. I think, I kind of move to my own beat and have, little voices of things that I kind of listen to internally, in terms of what feels right. And so I think it's about just having the confidence to listen to yourself and to just go get it, no matter what the cost.
Love that again.
Love that. Yeah, just staying true to who you are. And also when you do stay true to who you are and what feels right, it makes those, doors getting closed in your face and people saying no. Like it just, you enjoy the process. So it makes it easier to just accept those. And it's more it's information like, okay, they said no, but like on to the next one. And it's not like your world's crushed because it's the process, because you enjoy doing it.
Yeah, completely agree. And look out for Jamal, because he's the head coach of Stockade, along with SUNY Ulster, D3 college in New York. But Stockade will be back. They will be playing this summer, so look out for him and the Hoffay bros and Dennis Crowley and the whole gang. Make sure you guys tune in and support. And we're gonna move right on to another one who I'm sure we'll see again and again. We're in a group chat with him too. The man, the myth, the legend, and possibly joining as an assistant coach in a deal that could really break headlines more than the Super League did. So
yeah, it might break the transfer record. I mean, what a
really
duo
might.
this would be.
Let's see what Jack has to say. If you like what he has to say here, funny guy. He did an amazing job. We'll have him on again. But Jack was featured in episode 43, our Premier League predictions review, where he called us out on all our bullshit. So here's Jack.
What I think defines making your own path is just doing what you want to do. Not to sound cliche, but it's your life. It's your path that you want to choose. You put 100% into it every single day. Bring a high energy, whether it's work, sports, or just your personal life. You roll with the punches, you block out any negativity, and just do what makes you happy. Like for me, a body built by Pop-Tarts is exactly the path that I want to be on. So, happy birthday, Footwork. Love you guys. Keep rolling out the great content. As always, cheers, Jeff.
Incredible.
Love you too, Jack.
So yeah, he's I believe he has a Pop-Tart sponsorship coming.
Yeah, we're working on it.
We're working on it. I mean,
slowly.
A unique guy. He makes his own path. Doesn't toast his Pop-Tarts. I mean, what more can you ask for a guy?
Gets his nutrients from the strawberry and the Pop-Tart and the
gets
really
his
starts
fruit in the morning.
right. I mean, it's just another thing though. We keep coming back to it's like you have to be true to yourself and what makes you happy. And a lot of our guests have picked up on this, and that's what we try and preach here for anyone doing anything, and a lot of our guests do different things, but one thing he said though is like, you're putting everything into it. You're not just choosing this path because I'm I want to be this. It's like, I want to be this and I'm going to do it. So making your own path isn't all just about the choosing. It's about putting 100% of yourself into that choice.
Right. Totally committing to it and seeing what happens from there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the man. Jack, we'll see you soon. Now we're going to keep it in the family. Kind of weird seeing her head of mustaches with a shaved
with a shaved face.
Shaved face.
I think at this point it's protocol. He has to, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, Nick Vinberg featured in, what episode was that? That was episode 44, Lessons for Military.
44.
Yeah. So let's hear what he has to say. Danke.
Footwork fans, Head of Mustaches here. Congratulations to the Footwork team. Sean, Dylan, everybody who's a part of the podcast journey, all the guests. 50 plus episodes, getting better every single time. So what does making your own path mean? Sean, Dylan, preach it every single episode. I mean, there's so many aspects to it, but coming from the Head of Mustaches, making your own path is everything you do in life. Do it to the best of your ability. Always look to get better. If you have an idol, if you have somebody if you're a soccer player and you look up to a soccer player, take on his work ethic, the way he eats, the way he trains, and copy it. And once you get to his level, then you get better than him and crush him and make your own path. Do this in sports, do this in civilian world, anything and everything, make your own path.
I'm a little scared.
Well, we definitely see he just got a new espresso machine, had 7 shots before he took this.
I was going to say, what pre-workout are we on?
He's on that original Jack 3D. Man,
I mean,
there you go.
He did bring something a little unique. Was even in making out your own path, you can really look up to people who have had
use
similar
people
things.
that have had success in whatever it is you've done.
Yeah, but it's like copy and then crush them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he makes a good point there. It's like when you are on this path, it's not like you're just going blind into it. Like that's not what we're trying to say here. It's like you can use what other people have done, but understand that you're coming from, like Jordan Peterson said, you're coming from a unique position that no one else is coming from.
Yeah.
So like see what works for other people, try it out, or see what has made people successful, and it just make like this big conglomerate. And in addition to your own ideas and your own experiences.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that's so. That funny story was you just deleting the episode.
Oh, that was okay. All right, never mind. All right, so we've already told the funny story.
Yeah,
but shouts out to Nick.
There you go. Head of mustaches.
Great guest. Head of mustaches. Without a mustache, then you must be worthy of the title. So
also the one to bring to our minds that thank you in German sounds like donkey. Never really dawned on me until he made a point about it, and it kind of does. Just say it,
Yeah,
donkey.
Donkey.
Like,
you say,
it works.
You say it with enough upstate, accent, and it'll get there. I mean, so Nick came out and visited us, and we went out to Berlin, rode scooters around. It was just, amazing time.
Incredible.
I mean, there's no real story to this, but Sean was upstairs talking to some people from the US. I think it was, we were meeting a bunch of people, and Nick and I ventured down into this hostel. Like, we were in a hostel and we ventured down to a comedy club, and, honestly, it wasn't even funny, but like when I hear your brothers laugh, like it is 100% it's on, like I'm dying, because like it's just so contagious.
Yes.
And the little comedy club, like, yeah, there was some funny jokes, but like Nick laughing in the back, maybe after a few beers or whatever it was like, oh man, these guys had the best crowd because of Nick. And so Nick is, he's one hell of a guy. He supports us, and shout out to him. That was a great make your own path video.
I remember you guys were trying to tell me one of the jokes. It was like about putting a hamster in a box or something. And it was not funny at all, but you guys were in tears trying to tell me.
It was the classic, like when you're trying to retell a story and you just see the look on the other person's face, like they want it to be funny, but you just can't explain it. Like, and then just it never really came out into fruition. But
so funny.
Good times. Good times. We're rolling right along. We have another one working behind the scenes. He was also featured in our Champions League predictions, and he does a lot of work off camera. He was involved in some big promos in the beginning, and we'll be sure to have him on very soon. Look at that flow. Look at that Oni
Minister of Foreign Affairs looking like a minister. Let me tell you.
This is. I mean, we don't give out these titles for nothing.
No.
Shouts out to Tyler Crill. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Footwork boys. Thanks for having me on. Glad I could help out. Today we're answering the question, what does making your own path mean to you? So for me, it's a few different things. First off, it's obviously doing it your own way and not a cookie cutter way that you were told to do by maybe one of your higher ups, parents, teachers, coaches, anything like that. And secondly, goes along with that is taking chances, right? Taking chances and risks in order to prove that your way is a correct way, or just one of many ways you can get to your end goal, okay? And lastly, for me, is becoming comfortable in uncomfortable situations, right? This one's obviously difficult, but if you can master that, or at least become good at it, that is a huge stride in helping you move forward and helping you reach that goal, and in the end, helping you make your own path. So again, thanks, Footwork boys. Appreciate it. Keep plugging, keep passing at Footwork Podcast.
The man even gets us on
the legend
on the plug there at the end. I mean, yeah, I really like what Crill had to say there. I mean, Crill certainly made his own path when he tried out for varsity soccer, having never played soccer really in his life, and being, a prodigy tennis star. that's, one thing, making his own path. No one told him he could do that, but he tried. He failed, but he picked himself back up, and he's playing some of the best football he's ever played in terms of juggling and little five-a-side. I played with him.
He's getting better every day.
I play with him in like a little five-a-side like pickup game indoors, in those little turf fields, and he's two-touch Tyler. So he takes a touch and it's right back to you. He takes a touch, it's right back to you. It's
Gundogan.
Yeah, he's
on
a good
the ball, off the ball.
Good guy to play with. He'll give it right back. But I mean, on a more serious note, Crill is a really good, one of my best friends, and I'm sure he won't mind me kind of adding this anecdote in. Is that Crill had a job in the city, in New York City, and in some sales avenue, and he didn't like it. He wasn't happy there, and it's really easy for people to be caught in this rut of hating their job. But I don't know if it's bravery or, pressure from your parents or whatever it may be. There could be a ton of outliers and contributing factors. Crill, after some discussion and stuff, took the leap of faith and, had the courage to change and make his own path again and, do something else. And he was very happy with the career change. And, knowing that, I'm sure it'll be even easier for him if he feels he needs to do it again. It's like ripping that Band-Aid off the first time, like Sean going to Mongolia, like me going to Tasmania. Once he was put in that uncomfortable situation of having to, change course and start making a new path, it's far less scary to do it again. And it only brings you closer to what, that goal or that dream and the best thing that fulfills you really is,
right.
Like each time you say, no, this isn't it. No, this isn't it. That's guaranteed you're a step closer to what it is. So, right. I mean, shouts out to Crill. That's the man. He does a lot of work plugging and passing, and, he's a great role model.
One of the first promo videos too.
Yeah. One of the first promo
juggling
videos.
on a mountaintop.
There was two that he did, and he came back to me with the mountaintop one, and the Abby Wambach hair, and the I think he had the stash, and he did like a cool little like Neymar flick, and we were like, oh, this is great content. Like this is going out there.
This is the brand right here.
This is the brand right here. Well, Shawnee, that's what our guests had to say. 50th episode, man. I mean,
amazing.
Can you tell me, like, what does make your own path mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, the guests summed it up right. I think taking everything they said and what we've spoken about throughout these 50 episodes, it's just finding what you really enjoy doing and committing 110% into it. Like, I think that's the key to all of it, is you really have to commit to it, because when you put everything you have into one thing, you'll find out if you enjoy it or not.
Yeah.
And when you find out that you do enjoy it, you find that it's like this huge momentum that you have, and it makes the process even easier because you really enjoy doing it, and the work that it takes or the amount of hours you need to spend in it, you don't look at it as that, because you really look forward to doing it. You don't wake up and think, oh, I have to do this, this, and this today. But it's like, you wake up and you want to get out of bed to start doing this.
Yeah.
That's kind of what everyone's looking for in their life, but it's difficult to find what makes you tick or what you really enjoy, and then having the bravery to do it and go off the beaten path.
Yeah. Off the beaten path. Another one that we've used quite a few times, I couldn't agree more. And, at the risk of sounding redundant, I'll just retweet what each of our guests had to say. Man, that was fun. 50 episodes though, man. It's been
crazy.
Been quite the journey. Like I said, we're continue to grow each time, which is just
right.
An amazing thing. And we have some fun things planned for the next 50, and hopefully we actually follow through on our promises.
We're getting the merch out by 100.
Should we show them the merch? Should we show them one of the merch pictures?
Yeah, do you have one of the merch pictures?
I do have one of the merch.
The basic of the basic.
All right, so go to the YouTube, people.
Yeah, we're not going to say anything about this. You're going to have to check out YouTube.
Yeah,
but this is one idea.
This is one of the prototypes.
There you go.
Nothing. Enough said. Speaks for itself.
It's dope. Yeah.
Fuego, fire, flames.
Close
Work
it.
on the colors too.
This is classified information right here.
Yeah, you gotta go to YouTube and you gotta freaking subscribe. All right.
Yeah, I wish we could have like you only see that part if you're subscribed. That'd be cool.
That would be
so
cool.
Dylan, out of all these episodes, whatever we're at, it's like 54 with all these little half episodes. But what was your favorite one, or maybe most memorable one, in terms of
favorite?
Probably just with us, not with guests, because the guests, they have so many cool different stories. It's hard to compare them. But just us
I don't want to compare any of the guests. I would say, I think as we've gotten better, it's become a little less like stressful in terms of like, I feel the pressure to put a good product out. And I just feel like we always say, Sean, like, we might be a little slow in a pocket here, but once we kind of catch onto something, and when Sean and I are just basically feel like we're having a conversation, I don't even, see the microphone or whatever, I'm really enjoying the episodes that we're putting out now. But I mean, dude, nothing compares to how hard we would laugh on the break. I think episode 1, the dirty side, when we were talking about like all the shitty things that we had to do in our first contracts, like me stacking bricks, like you having to bring toilet paper around with you because in Mongolia it's not in the public restrooms. Like, I think from the break, someone said bullying these Mongols.
That was definitely me. I mean,
I think in the beginning we just thought, like, especially after episode 1, we were like, oh, we're going to have, this is going to be a comedy. And you slowly realize that you run out of stories to tell, or they're scattered because they don't fit as much.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm going to go back and listen to those episodes. It's nice to see, when we look at the analytics of it, that people are either starting or coming back to it. And,
right.
You always see like, who are we? The break, that's episode 0, episode 1, those first ones. So, don't judge us fully on those products because I feel like we've gotten a lot better, but man, there is some gold in those ones. I love it.
A lot of gold with audio quality when you share a mic. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it was. But this was what made it what it was. Do you have anything different from me, or you feel like we kind of, that's what it was?
the bullying those Mongols, I can remember that laugh like yesterday. Like I think we of course, being nitpickers, I think we edited out a bit of the laughing because it was so long. But like,
oh, probably,
we should have it was like a minute of us crying. I mean, I know I was crying, and I get to the point like I can't breathe, and I just start tearing up. And then you're like, "Can we say that?" And it's like, I guess why not? Who's gonna stop us?
I would like to see like what we've taken out throughout the the episodes, and what we really should have kept in because we were either care too much or. I
mean, I can think of one thing, and I still hear it, but it's like whatever. I tend to say right a lot. Like if you're talking and I'm agreeing with you,
ticks. Yeah.
And mine was like I would say right, and I went through a whole episode and got rid of like most of them.
Oh my god!
Like, oh man,
it's
what
crazy
a
how
waste
much
of
we
time!
cared. Yeah.
I might as well just go watch like grass grow or something. Like, what am I thinking?
Yeah. No, that must have been the worst thing
funny.
to edit. Before we go, I did find two more pictures that I think might entice people to go over to YouTube. So one is another idea. If you're subscribed to our newsletter, you would have seen this. So this is another thing without saying exactly what it is, maybe. I mean, this one, you have to wake up with this. So this will be out there very, very soon, hopefully, when some things get put in rotation. And then here's one that I did just find as well, kind of going into some of the earlier work and setups around footwork. I thought this was a dope picture.
That OG, I'm not even gonna say it, but yeah, look at that.
Yeah, it's fun times.
And look at that. Oh man, There's that computer too.
There's that computer.
Yikes. That
making the
RIP
sounds.
to that computer.
Yeah. But that's 50, man. I mean, that's all I have. Just, seriously, thank you, everyone. And, everything that you guys have, shared with friends or, liked our videos, commented, reached out, said you like the product, love that. Please continue to, do the same and, tell us what you want to hear, reach out to us more, plug it, pass it with your friends, and, those little subscribes and reviews, Apple reviews, all that stuff is, monumental for us and trying to make this a, even better project and, hopefully a more, I wouldn't want to say profitable, but, you never know what we can become. So thank you to everyone out there. Seriously.
Yeah. I'm just going to retweet all of that. It's crazy what we've started out as. And up until this point, I mean, like you said, we're closing in on 20,000 plays overall, which is just crazy. So I mean, we're enjoying it just as much as you guys are. Keep plugging and passing, just like Wagsy says at the end.
Yeah.
So until next time,
keep moving forward,
keep learning,
make your own path.
Take it away, Wagsy.
Cheers, Jeff.
Footwork is sponsored by ourselves, but also Kong Fitness and Merchant Designs, baby. Follow us on Instagram at Footwork_podcast. Twitter is at Footwork Podcast. YouTube and Facebook, just check out Footwork Podcast, search it. Email us if you need anything, any questions at footworkpodcast@gmail.com. And remember, plug, pass. Tell your parents, Amazon delivery guy, mailman, I don't know who, just tell them. Like, subscribe, review, all of it helps. Danke.